How am I supposed to record a video about seeing the positive in life when I'm grouchy? This is real life. Hi, I'm Amy. This is a lolly life. Today we're talking about having a positive attitude. Because that was the topic that I decided that we were going to be talking about previously. Before something happened and I lost something on my computer and I feel really grouchy. Yeah. So, not exactly sure how I'm supposed to be talking about having a positive attitude and being all happy and everything's good with life when I am grouchy. I'm genuinely not happy about losing this document on the computer. I got nothing. This is a time when I need a four-leaf clover moment. Here's the backstory behind a four-leaf clover moment. I was having a particularly grouchy day. This was a previous particularly grouchy day, not like today particularly grouchy day, although I'm guessing I probably felt very similar. I was particularly grouchy, and I felt justified in my grouchiness. Somebody had said something rude, and I don't even remember what was happening. I just remember I was very grouchy, and I felt very justified in my grouchiness. There were good reasons to be grouchy. We were on a road trip, and that made it even worse, because not only was I grouchy and justified in my grouchiness, but I was stuck in the car with 3 other people. And I'm guessing I was probably grouchy at one of them. I don't even remember. I just know I was really grouchy. We stopped to get something to eat, and to make it even worse, we stopped at a fast food joint to get something to eat. And I don't like fast food. There are times that it does sound good. It takes about a year, but when you're on a road trip and you've actually eaten it recently, the idea of having more fast food is really disgusting to me because it makes me sick. I know that if I eat fast food, I am going to be sick, and I'm in the car, and I don't want to be sick. And so I was just grouchy. So I decided I am not eating at this fast food place. You guys go in, get some fast food. I'm going to eat a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich because I had brought along a little bit of bread and a little bit of peanut butter and a little bit of jelly. The guys get out of the car and they go into the restaurant, and I am just so grouchy inside the car. And I finally get out of the car and I'm standing there and I'm just practically crying because I'm just so grouchy. And it just was a very grouchy moment. Just like now. And I looked down. And I was standing in a patch of 4-leaf clovers. And not one 4-leaf clover, an entire patch of 4-leaf clovers. That's right. There was an entire patch of 4-leaf clovers. The entire area that I was standing in were 4-leaf clovers. Just let that sink in. I have spent my entire life looking for a 4-leaf clover. I thought that the whole idea of a 4-leaf clover and the good luck that you get from it and leprechauns and pots of gold, that is awesome stuff. I would spend hours and hours and hours laying on the ground in the grass looking through a clover patch for a 4-leaf clover. And one time I found a clover that was a little bit misshapen, and I tore the leaf just a tiny bit because it was misshapen in such a way that if I tore it a little bit, then it kind of made it into a 4-leaf clover and not a 3-leaf clover. And I was so proud of myself because I found a 4-leaf clover. Now, granted, it was a 4-leaf clover that I kind of made, but it was still a 4-leaf clover. And I loved the whole idea of finding a 4-leaf clover, and I'd never really actually found a 4-leaf clover. And there I was, standing in an entire patch of 4-leaf clovers. An entire patch. I just kind of felt like Heavenly Father had knocked me up the side of the head and said, hey, there is no reason to be grouchy. You are fine. There are good things in this world. Here's a patch of 4-leaf clovers to prove it. I don't know. That's kind of what it felt like. It just felt like I was kind of getting slapped up the side of the head, which a slap up the side of the head that I needed, seriously, telling me to quit being grouchy and to find good things in life. And that you kind of get what you look for. And I need a 4-leaf clover moment because I need somebody to slam me up the side of the head and say, hey, quit being grouchy. It's not that big of a deal. There are still good things in life, despite the fact that you lost multiple hours worth of work on your computer. So whenever I'm having these moments where I am having a particularly grouchy moment and It is justified. It is a justified self-grouchy moment. It's not even like I'm feeling grouchy for no reason moment, which I have those too, but like there's a good reason to be grouchy. And the world's not being fair. And every time I say something's not being fair, like I think of the Princess Bride movie, which is a really great movie, by the way. I love the Princess Bride movie. Life isn't fair, Highness. Anybody that says otherwise is selling something. Yeah, so like, it's true. Like, really, life is not fair. It doesn't stop me from wanting it to be fair when it isn't fair. How do you find those four-leaf clover moments in those moments when you are grouchy? Like this morning. And the answer for it is the fact that you actually have to do something, like mentally you have to actually do work that you don't want to do when you're grouchy. Our minds can only focus on so many things. There are so many things around us going on at any given time. There's this camera that is, going on, and there's the window behind it, and the light that's shining from it, and the ceiling fan up there, and there's all these different things that are going on, and I cannot possibly focus on all of them at the same time. Like, I just can't. There's this little part of your brain, and I don't know what it's called, but it chooses what you're going to focus in on. And how does it choose? It chooses by the experiences that you've had and the things that you think about. Interestingly enough, there are ways for you to influence what your mind focuses on, what your brain chooses to focus on. There's ways to prime your mind to see certain things in life. The way that you would prime an engine, get it ready, get all the tubes lubed up and things like that so that it's like ready to start right at the moment's notice, and like as soon as you like need it, it's like boom, I'm there and I'm working and I'm running and I'm doing well. There's ways to prime your mind to like set your mind up to focus in on specific things. An example of that is when you are like naming a baby. So like you have picked out this name for this baby, and so like they have this little sweet little baby, and they're like, well, actually usually they pick the name months before the baby is around, and so like, they picked this name and they decide, this is the name that we're probably going to name our child. And they picked something a little bit unique because they were like, they wanted something slightly unique for their child. And so they picked this name, and then in the next week, they hear 2 people that have kids with that name. And they're like, what's up with that? Like, we picked a unique name. We picked it for a reason. How come everybody's like naming their kids that now? You're like, what is that all about? That's just weird. That is your mind being primed for something specific. It hones in on something that it might not have honed in on before. And it's not that those things weren't there before. It's just that your mind wasn't primed to pay attention to that. By choosing that name and having that been an experience that has happened recently and something that you think about and are excited about, that primed your mind to be aware of that. And so anytime that you heard that then afterwards, well, your mind focused in on it because it was something that you'd been thinking about and that was part of your experiences now. That's kind of how the mind chooses what it's going to focus in on. There are ways for you to prime your mind to focus on specific things. If you're thinking about and focusing in on negative things, then when negative things happen, your brain hones in on it. It's like primed to see the negative things in your life. And that sucks. I'll just tell you, because it's not very fun. If you are thinking about and paying attention to the positive things that happen in your life, then when those positive things happen, your brain hones in on those positive things because it's been primed to see positive things. That's why things like a gratitude journal are so helpful. You are forcing yourself to focus in on positive things. Even if you write in really dumb things like, I'm thankful for socks because it keeps my shoes from stinking as much, or something. I guess socks aren't really a dumb thing. Maybe a little bit. I like socks. I actually have some nice little socks. Like, check out these socks. These are new from Christmas. Yes, I like them. And I like them because they're very soft. Now, you can't actually feel the socks on the camera, but I will tell you, they're very, very soft. And that is part of the reason that I bought them. So if you have like a gratitude journal and you're writing down the things that you're thankful for, you're priming your mind to focus in on positive things. And so when positive things happen, your mind hones in on it. And because we can't always have Heavenly Father like slap us up the side of the head and say, hey, there's still good things in life, and give us like little four-leaf clover moments, we sometimes have to create those four-leaf clover moments for ourselves. Actually, most of the time, we have to create those four-leaf clover moments for ourselves. And so we do that by priming our mind to see the positive things that are happening in our life and to see the good in the world. By listing off a few of your blessings and maybe writing them down in a journal, even just listing them off out loud, or saying a prayer and listing off some blessings, or next time something really good happens, just like really revel in the moment and like, I love that this good thing happened and I am going to remember this. Anytime that you do things like that, you are priming your mind to focus in on positive things. And then when you have these grouchy moments where you lose stuff on a document on the computer and you're feeling really grouchy and you're stressed because you're afraid that your video is going to turn out poorly because you just are blah, then you can focus in on the positive things and you can have a little four-leaf clover moment where you look down and you realize you are completely surrounded by four-leaf clovers. Because how awesome is that? Four-leaf clover moments. I actually feel a little bit better. Only a little bit better. I still kind of feel grouchy, but I do feel a little bit better. Because, like, that actually sort of made sense. See? There you go. Gratitude for you. I am happy because I made sense. Which is unusual. So, I am always happy for those moments when I do make sense. I don't even know. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this episode of making a YouTube video on being happy while you are being grouchy. Well, at least it was real. Like, I can't just tell you, like, oh, do this and be happy all the time. It doesn't work that way. But you can prime your mind to be happier and to see the good things in life so that when you do have those grouchy moments, because they will come, then you can have four-leaf clover moments a little bit more often. I'll see you next time on A Lolly Life.